The free $20,000 MLB 10 runs for free cash contest is now live at SBRforum.com. What is the contest? It's simple. Each day in a designated SBR forum post, you pick one team that you think will score 10 or more runs that day. You qualify to win $100 that day if you are correct. Each day the game continues, you pick another team. And every time your team scores 10 runs, you'll be adding onto your total score. The contest is split into 3 segments, and at the end of each segment, the top scorers split $2,500. And at the conclusion of the contest, there's even more cash up for grabs, in total over $20,000. And I know what you're thinking. You can just pick the Yankees every day and win. No, you can only pick the same team once per week. Check out the link in the description for more info and see you in the SBR forum for the contest.
Folks, welcome into SportsbookReview.com. It's Tuesday, and it's time to talk some Major League Baseball right here on the SportsbookReview.com Major League Baseball show. I'm Dennis Seymour with Jason Radowitz and Kyle Purviance. Hey, people out there said, ain't no way. Ain't no way the Giants going to do anything. Fade all these clowns on the air. Didn't work out too well for him, Jason, did it?
No, but it didn't. And again, this is why we preach taking team totals. The game got a little dicey later on. It was 8-3 or whatever, and then it went, or I don't know, it was like an 8-1 game, and then it went to like 8-5, then went to extra innings after that. So team totals, that's the way to go. I'm even seeing in the chat right now, people are like, oh, if you don't take underdogs, you're not going to be winning bets. But like Donnie and I, and even Kyle for the most part, we take favorites. We just don't take them on the money line. There is a way to profit taking favorites using team totals, so it's not all about the underdogs. You can also bet the favorites and win. Just better strategy is to go with the team totals instead of worrying about the full game on these money lines at minus 250.
Yeah, wild games last night in Major League Baseball. There were some big dogs to score yesterday for sure, but the San Francisco Giants run line in the first 5, the San Francisco Giants team total in the first 5, and the San Francisco Giants team total full game all cashed in, Kyle, big time.
That's it. And then we got a little love from the Baltimore Orioles. I told you they're sneaky against lefties. Be careful. There's another lefty again today. So it was a good day. Of course, the value menu got choked. I didn't get the free McNuggets. The Pirates couldn't get me 4, and the Blue Jays lost. We sort of talked about that earlier, that big underdog there as well. So decent night, good night, couple home run props. Alonso and Escobar go deep. So, nice night. Let's get back to every team playing today. And, of course, one team just can't bring themselves to announce a starting pitcher like every other major league franchise, those hapless, pathetic, and embarrassing Miami Marlins.
Hey, they did the job yesterday. They helped out us Philadelphia fans yesterday handling their business in the first inning with McGill. I don't know. He was pitching very well, but certainly got off to a rough start in that one down in South Florida. Let's get to the Major League Baseball card today. We have a deep card to go over. Starting first here at 7:10 start, Boston and Detroit. Richards versus Peralta. Across the board, slight favorite here to the Boston Red Sox, and feeling that heat from the Tampa Bay Rays now, minus 142 to minus 148, depending on where you're shopping at. 10s across the board. Richards versus Peralta are runs in the future here tonight, Jason.
Yeah, probably. Both pitchers have not had the best of seasons. If you go to Richards, he's now allowed 3 or more runs in his last 3 starts. And, of course, even if you go back to June, he had games where he allowed 5 runs, 4 runs, 3 times. And he's allowed multiple runs going all the way back until 5/13. He's allowed multiple runs. Then you go to Peralta. Peralta hasn't been too great either. 5.31 xFIP, striking out just 14.2% of batters. He was one of the pitchers when we were on air last week talking about a game that went over 20 runs. He was one of the starting pitchers for the Tigers there. The Red Sox, obviously, their offense does profile pretty well against Peralta, who's also walked 9.7% of batters. He has struggled against righties. Even lefties, he's not really getting high amount of strikeouts. So, yeah, I like the over in this game. I think that it's very doable here.
No, it seems like it should be doable here. But again, you're talking about Boston. They got to start getting back on the horse here. And what a great way to start out is to go up against the Detroit Tigers. But again, it's not as if you're throwing, Kyle, a very good pitcher on the mound or even a mediocre pitcher on the mound in Garrett Richards. So you're hoping just your lineup out hits the Detroit Tigers tonight. So we're looking at runs, and that's why it's listed at 10 here as a total, Kyle.
Exactly. And there's no sense in taking sides here unless you're taking the underdog just to try to get one of those lucky flash in the pan plus money things here. For me, both team totals are live. Possibly some free McNuggets here. I actually went to BetMGM, and most outlets have it at 5.5 at about even money for the Red Sox team total. Look, Willie Peralta might be one of the, if he's not the worst pitcher in baseball, he's one of the 5 or 6 worst pitchers in baseball, right? I mean, this guy's absolutely terrible. His last 4 starts against Boston, his fantasy totals, 0, 12, 6, 3. He's bad. Willie Peralta's bad. Then you throw in that anemic Detroit bullpen. I went down and bought a run fewer at BetMGM over 4.5 minus 155. It's a little juiced up, but it's not anything crazy. I'd rather just go for the 5 runs and the 6 runs. That's me. If you want to go the even money on the Red Sox team total, it makes sense. And some people astutely said in the chat box that Tigers team total is absolutely live. Garrett Richards is no Tom Glavine either. Both these teams should be able to hit. I love the Red Sox lineup for DFS. If you're looking to be contrarian, you want a game stack. Detroit and this Boston game, both live. The Devers home run prop, absolutely live. JD Martinez home run prop, absolutely live. Love the team totals in this game. Should be a lot of runs. Both teams live in DFS. But for me, go to BetMGM, get that alternate total over 4.5 minus 155. Makes a ton of sense for me.
You know, this makes a ton of sense. 87,300 people have hit the subscribe button to the sportsbookreview.com YouTube channel. Thank you guys for all the love and support out there for doing that. If you haven't done so yet, new to the show, just chiming in here, we got you covered on just about every single sport going on with live content right here. So hit that subscribe button, notification bells on, because when we go live, at least to talk some Major League Baseball, you can come into the chat box and say hello, just like over 200 people are already doing that. And also, just to your point here in this matchup of games, when we're taking a look at XFIP minus numbers, I have 30 pitchers rated on the card today. Garrett Richards 24th, Willie Peralta 25th. So certainly not looking for a great overall pitching showing today out of either one of those guys. Let's head out to the West Coast tonight on a doubleheader spot here. Good games, 927, 928. Snell, the lefty, going to be on the mound. It says Oakland's undecided. We thought it might be Manaea in this one. So anywhere between 140s to 160s where we're ranging, 8.5s to 9. Not too much to actually get into here, but just looking, Jason, from a Snell perspective, he hasn't been very good, and they're going to stack righties against him tonight.
Yeah, look, Snell, 6.31 xFIP in his last 30 days, striking out and walking the same amount of batters, 18.1%. So, it's going to be pretty ugly for him against righties. Weighted OBA 409 with an ISO of 167. There's guys in the lineup that can do damage. Olsen, he's crushed lefties already this season. Obviously not a righty against Snell, but then you have Yan Gomes, Josh Harrison, 2 of the guys that they went and inquired. This is where those guys come in. They could produce in this spot against Snell here. Also, Chapman could have some power in this lineup as well. So I do like the Athletics lineup. Let's wait to see if it's Manaea on the mound. If it is Manaea, I mean, that guy, 3.01 ERA. If he has a good game today, he can get his ERA below 3. He's been really good, one of the top 5 pitchers in the American League this year so far. So if it's going to be him, then I like the Athletics all the way here.
I mean, what happened to Blake Snell here? If you take a look, last 30 days is 6.31 xFIP, not a lot of strikeouts. And get this one. Here's my favorite stat of the night. You take a look at using Oakland Moneyball to like to take walks here. Blake Snell over the last 30 days, he's faced 83 batters. He's walked almost 20% of those batters. How do you even survive in Major League Baseball, which is why Snell has been pretty poor from this perspective. Going to a true pitcher's ballpark, we'll see what happens, but I don't have any faith in just saying, hey, that Padres lineup should hit. Forget about the Padres lineup. Look at the Padres pitcher on the mound tonight.
Exactly. And for me, I'm seeing Manaea everywhere. So I'm approaching this as if it is Manaea. Yeah. Slightly into the A's. I don't trust the A's here. I will say this. The Padres are underdogs. They're a fantastic baseball team. They're one of the best teams in baseball. So anytime you get a really, really good team like the Padres at plus money, I mean, don't you have a lot more faith in the Padres winning than you do a team like right now the Orioles, one of the hottest teams in baseball, tied for the best record over the last 10 games. But, you're taking plus money on the Padres, you feel better than taking plus money on the Marlins. You know what I mean? So I could see this as an underdog spot, a dog or pass thing. All the numbers indicate to me Oakland is in better position to win this game. You guys are absolutely right. Is there, outside of Francisco Lindor, is there a more disappointing big offseason acquisition than the Padres and Blake Snell, right? I mean, seriously, it's true. I mean, if you think of the two big acquisitions in the offseason who have been the biggest disappointments, it's not even close. It's Lindor and it's Blake Snell. Slight lean to the A's here. I don't mind the Padres underdog spot. If you're looking for maybe a lower owned, it's a big DFS slate. You have every team involved. So ownership isn't the biggest deal today. You don't have to worry about being super contrarian because it's going to be spread out over these 15 games, especially with the guys who are mass multi-entering those GPPs. They're trying to have exposure to every game. It sort of thins them out. So you do have a chance to come closer to the top. Lean the A's here. Don't mind. I understand the logic in taking a team like the Padres as an underdog. But the lean for me tonight, it would be minus 0.5 in the first 5 for the A's. Manaea, if it's Manaea, I didn't know there was even a question about that because I see him everywhere. So don't hold me to that. I'm approaching it as if it is Manaea. Manaea much better than Snell. Lean the A's, minus 0.5 in the first 5.
Houston and the Los Angeles Dodgers, McCullers, Buehler. This one's going to get pretty feisty out there with the Dodger fans, I would assume, here as the Astros are coming to town. Really a nice rivalry built up, and the line is on the move here. Minus 152 offshore at Pinnacle. They open up now at 173. FanDuel is 162, and now that's up to 180. 8.5s across the board in this one. When I take a look at this game overall, I mean, hey, you got two pretty good lineups that are going to hit, but you also have two decent pitchers on the mound. A playoff atmosphere for me, a team total, and it's an over backer. I'm actually leaning towards the under 8.5 in this one. There's an interesting odds boost on this game as well. Walker Buehler and Lance McCullers to each get at least one strikeout in the first inning. Now sits at plus 200. Jason, what are you looking at tonight between the Astros and the Dodgers?
Yeah, like you said, obviously both really great pitchers on the mound. McCullers already 8-2 on the year. Yeah, he struggled in his last 2 outings. He allowed 4 earned runs in both against the Indians and also the Mariners. Before that, he was a 1 to 2 earned run kind of guy in the last, previous 5 starts, and he was really terrific. I think he gets back to that today. Yeah, you got Betts, Muncy, Turner, Seager also back in the lineup, and Smith and Taylor. All these guys have done well against righties, but McCullers, he's getting 58.1% of ground balls. So I think the Dodgers are going to hit them a little bit more ground balls than I think they're used to hitting for the first place. And then really, he's worse against lefties, McCullers is. And so you got Muncy, solid lefty. Seager just getting back into the swing of things, so can't really expect much out of him. Bellinger's been awful all season long, and McKinney hasn't done much against righties in his last 38 plate appearances. So I think the Astros will be able to kind of scratch this one out. And if you go to William Hill, they do have this promo going on right now. If you bet at least $25 on the money line in this game, win or lose, you'll receive free bets for offensive stats from either Bellinger for the Dodgers or the Astros, Jose Altuve. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put $25. I'm going to go with the Astros with Altuve, and you get $10 per single, $20 per double, $30 per triple, $50 per home run. So a little bit of money you can make if you go that route and take the Astros or the Dodgers, depending on which player you think is going to perform better. I think that'll be Altuve over Bellinger.
Yeah, that's a fun one to have because most people that are just common gamblers go, Bellinger, sign me up all day long. He's going in the yard. Then you look at his numbers like, what the hell happened to Cody Bellinger this year? An MVP candidate down to a MLP, most least valuable player on the Dodgers at this point here. Kyle, take a look at this game. 2 decent pitchers on the mound, 8.5, so a little bit higher than what that opening total would be. Are we seeing runs in this game, or how's this one going to play out from your perspective?
I don't like runs in this game. Now, for me, I'm not taking a side on this game. These are 2 fantastic teams, 2 of the 3 best teams in baseball. You could argue the 2 best teams in baseball. I will say this, last time Buehler faced off against Houston, it wasn't pretty. He actually got lit up a little bit, but over his last 4 games, he's been absolutely sensational. McCullers, not as great as he was earlier on in the year, but he profiles nicely against the Dodgers, a weighted 641 OPS over the last 3 years, a 596 for Buehler versus the Astros. So for me, I don't want to take a side here. I don't know who's going to win this game. It could be either team, but I do like the under 4.5 runs in the first 5 innings at minus 120. I don't. I like sometimes.
That was good though, because you said I don't really know who's going to win. It could be either team. Yeah, probably somebody's going to win this game. Kyle.
Hashtag analysis right there, right? Either team could win the game.
like it.
So astute.
No, it's perfect.
But no, I do like the under 4.5 minus 120 in the first 5 innings. I do think both pitchers can get through these rotations. I don't so much want to rely on the bullpens. Yes, the Dodgers have a good bullpen, but how many times have we seen them collapse in the 9th inning?
Yeah.
Astros, et cetera. So I'll take the under 4.5 first 5 innings minus 120. I think both starting pitchers get past the 5th inning and both look pretty good. Then maybe you start to see some runs later in the game. If I'm betting the full game, I would also lean the under as well.
By the way, taking a look, I know a lot of people out here looking, Cy Young, Walker Buehler. He's actually the favorite to win the Cy Young now, which is very interesting. This is one of the more volatile markets that I've ever seen in Major League Baseball. Who's going to win the Cy Young? Because it was locked up 3 weeks ago by Jacob deGrom, minus 1,000. He's actually plus 900, which is very interesting to me because if you take a look also at Zach Wheeler sitting at that plus 400 number, I think you have a really good booster. Now, let's just say Walker Buehler is the front runner, plus 300. If he pitches well tonight, that number is probably going to go to plus 250, and he will be the marked favorite here for the rest of the way, and the Dodgers are a good baseball team, see if they can win. But if you look at the NL East with Zach Wheeler, if the Phillies can overcome the New York Mets, he'll get a boost. But Jacob deGrom at 9-1. If the Mets hold on through the month of August and deGrom comes back and pitches well in September and they win the division, you're telling me through 20 starts where the guy's like an ERA of 0.89, he's not getting the Cy Young, and now you're getting 900 on that, Jason? What are your thoughts actually on that, by the way?
Yeah, deGrom has been hurt plenty and obviously not, pitching a lot of games, but of course he's going to have to really pitch well if he comes back in September and, not have any bad performances where he allows more than 3 runs any game to be able to do that. But, if he comes back and pitches 4 to 5 starts and looks really good in those 5 starts, it's obviously possible that he ends up winning the award. Buehler's up there, Wheeler's up there. It's going to be a fun little race towards the end, especially if deGrom comes back. He can make it even closer between a bunch of the other guys. So, it's interesting. Obviously, at plus 900. Why not take a little bit of a chance? I already had him as the MVP at plus 500. It got down to minus 120 and then minus whatever the heck it was. Now I'm probably out $50, but it was fun for the ride.
No, you're right. It's interesting there. And Kyle, just to get your perspective on this as well, Zach Wheeler plus 400, Gausman plus 400, Corbin Burns 450. Same thing with the Milwaukee Brewers. It's almost like if you have 2 good pitchers on your team, you just cancel each other out and neither one can win because it's not that fair. I guess same thing with the Chicago White Sox we're looking at. But Walker Buehler plus 300. It looks like he can carry the weight, but again, with pitcher, you can get hurt at any time. So, Buehler's the favorite. He's going to miss 3 starts. He goes from 300 to plus 1,000. Any thoughts here on the Cy Young race here in the NL?
Yeah. And he might lose a little shine, right, with Scherzer over there. If Scherzer just comes over in a spectacular, and let's say Buehler's out there, I gave up 2 runs over 6 innings, and Scherzer's, throwing 9-inning shutouts, 2 hitters. Maybe some of that media attention goes over to Scherzer and how he looks debuting for the Dodgers, et cetera, and it takes some of the shine off. So it's a tough one. I'd say of those numbers, Corbin Burns makes a lot of sense. The Brewers are in control of that division. It seems like the only time he's really hit is when he plays the Rockies, oddly enough. So, maybe Corbin Burns get the extra 50, get the plus 450. I just worry that Buehler is going to be overshadowed by Scherzer, and that could take away some of that momentum he has towards the award.
There you go. Just thought it was interesting. See, that's why we let the chat box out here. You know what I mean? I stray into the chat box, read a couple things. I'm like, you know what? It's very interesting here, this Cy Young race. So good for bringing the heat out there in the chat box. Let's keep it moving here. Value menu wagers worked out well for me last night. Didn't have a best bet in banker, but I did like the San Francisco Giants. Wish it was a play of the day for me, but it wasn't. Picked up a little bit of cash as we move on today. Look, I'm going to the Bronx. I know the Yankees stink. I know they can't get any base hits, but you have to take that out of your mind. If you're just going in each and every day saying, I don't like that team, they stink, without looking at the actual numbers of the game and what's going to play out, you're costing yourself money in the long term. Wells is a bad pitcher. He's a lefty. Last 30 days, 5.26 xFIP number. He is getting absolutely lit on fire by right-handed bats. 433 weighted on base average, 345 ISO power number. If you look at the Yankees tonight, they're going to stack right-handed bats over the last 30 days. And everybody in the lineup here has at least 13 at bats, which Allen predicted to be the 9-hole hitter. Even if you take him out, he's only got 13. Everybody is over just about 20 at bats here. Look at the weighted on base percentage numbers versus lefties for the Yankees over the past 30 days. 446, 450, 516, 377, 468, 492, 533. The Yankees will be able to hit tonight. The only reason why this is not a play of the day for me is because the total is at 5.5 at minus 120, or as it sat there before the show when the Yankees made a pitching change for Gill at this point. So 5.5 minus 120 is going to be value menu. Oh, you're crazy for going with the Yankees. No, I'm not. Look at the numbers. Trust them. You'll win money. Jason, what are you looking at tonight?
Yeah, so I'm looking for the value play. I'm looking at the Brew Crew over 2.5 in the first 5 at the team total. The last time Kranick pitched against Milwaukee, 5 innings, 10 hits, 6 runs, 1 walk, just 3 strikeouts, and they have a 210 ISO, 341 weighted OBA in the last 30 days. Kranick 617 xFIP in the last 30 days, walking 8.3, ground balls just 33.3%, hard contact sitting at 50%. So I'll save the analysis, but I love the Brewers in the spot.
There you go. And hey, I can't hate on the Brewers today. Wonder what's coming up next year. Kyle, what you got here? Value menu wager.
Well, I think I'm going to switch it up a little bit from what we were messaging about. It's the same 3 bets, but I think I'm going to switch my best bet, and I'm going to move the White Sox minus 0.5 in the first 5 to the value menu at minus 145. Just a little steamed up look at Cease versus Bubic. Cease has not been as good since they started checking for the substances. If you read the article in the New York Times, you saw he's one of the pitchers most affected by spin rate. But on the other side, we've got Bubic. And who likes a Bubic? No one wants a Boob-itch. It's a fade of Bubic for me. A weighted 896 3-year OPS. I think the White Sox get it done in the first 5 innings. Minus 0.5 in the first 5. Minus 145. When you look at Cease against Kansas City in his last 5 starts, only 1 game under 29 fantasy points. He's actually been pretty solid. I expect him to go 5 or 6 innings tonight. Hold the Royals down, who have nothing in the lineup. The White Sox, of course, have a revamped lineup, acquiring Cesar Hernandez, etc. So I do like the White Sox minus 0.5 in the first 5. And my other value menu wager is going to be a game we talked about. I like the Red Sox over 4.5 minus 155. I just think against Peralta, who's one of the worst pitchers in the league and one of the worst bullpens in the league. Love that Red Sox lineup for DFS. Love the home run props from Martinez and Devers. I think the Red Sox get over 4.5 minus 155 over at BetMGM as well.
Yeah, and also the Dinger Tuesday promo again on the FanDuel Sportsbook today. Hit my I've only done 4. I hit all 4. So tonight I'm looking for 5 in a row. I'm probably going to end up going. I haven't made the final decision, but it looks like Aaron Judge probably going to get the call for me tonight. Sloppy lefty going up against Judge tonight. He should be able to take off with 1 tonight. We'll see how it plays out. Odds boosted time, which yesterday I had the easiest one. I had the easiest one in my pocket. $50. Look at these teams. 3-1 favorites across the board. I didn't even make it out of the afternoon yesterday with the Blue Jays taking an extra inning loss versus the Cleveland Indians. But as we say it today, the odds boost for me that I'm going with, BetMGM today, Rizzo to get 1 or more RBIs for the New York Yankees at plus 160. I think the Yankees will get runs. If they do, he's going to be involved. Short porch out there in left and right field. I think he has a chance to go yard as well. He will pick up an RBI tonight, keeping it simple. 1 player, give me an RBI. I'm getting after it. Rizzo plus 160. How are you looking on an odds boost for you, Jason, tonight?
Yeah, so William Hill, $25 super boost right now for the Phillies at plus 100. If you look at this lineup for the Phillies, they're pretty good against lefties. You got Segura, Hoskins, Harper, Realmuto, and Bohm. They've all have really high weighted OBAs. The bottom of the lineup, they're actually walking a ton. You got Bohm, 16.7% in the last 30 days, Torreyes 18.2%, Williams 18.2%, and Herrera also 11.1%. So if these guys can walk, the top of the guys could bring them in against Corbin. Then you have let me get this. Yes, obviously you had Wheeler on the mound going here for the Phillies. The Washington Nationals, they just gutted their entire team. It's basically Soto, and that's basically it. So the Phillies at plus 100 super boost. I mean, there's nothing more to it. It's Wheeler against Corbin. Wheeler, way better pitcher. And the Phillies, they just profile well against Corbin as a lefty with a bunch of right-handed bats in the lineup.
There we go, boys. Kyle, odds boosted to the moon. Where are we playing at? Somewhere in Oregon? Let me know.
I can't play it here, obviously. Absolutely ridiculous. Well, you kept it easy. You kept it simple. I'm going to make it complicated. I'm going to do a 3-team parlay boosted from 255 up to 270. So it's not a huge boost, but it is a boost. We got 3 heavy favorites today.
What kind of boost is that? Where's that boost at?
It's the one that I like the best, I will not be peer pressured into taking something horrible. Donnie's such a bully out there.
Wait a second. Why does this boost only 15 cents? Where is this at? Explain
that. This is at BetMGM, New Jersey, just in your boy's neck of the woods. MLB parlay. If you put the 3 teams in, it comes in at 255. They boosted it to 270. So I'm taking it. White Sox, Brewers, and Braves all to win. You got the Braves against that Can Lester making his Cardinals debut. The Brewers obviously against those hapless Pittsburgh Pirates, even though Adrian Hauser's on the mound and he stinks. And then, of course, the White Sox over Bubic and those Royals. So, yes, is it a little chicken shit? Fair enough. But it's boosted enough. I followed the rules. I'm taking it.
It's winning, Kyle. It's winning.
I'm very disappointed in that boost. I need to write a letter to the sportsbook admin saying, "What are you giving Kyle a boost?" I mean, don't get me wrong. I actually had a boost in the NBA playoffs that by game time I was actually getting less than what the actual boost was. So go figure that one out. So we've all been there before at this time. Let's get into some best bets on the Major League Baseball board. Back in action tonight on a Tuesday for me. 32-13 on the season. Looking for win number 33 tonight. You know where I'm going? It doesn't look like it's a great lineup, but that doesn't mean they're not going to hit. You know what I did today? We were in our little Slack chat. Made a phone call today. Picked up the phone. Boop, 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 boop. Ring. Oh, yes, Brewers. How you doing today? Explain to me what's going on today. 77 degrees. They told me the roof would be open in Milwaukee tonight. Heat and humidity in that ballpark. You know where we're going there for. And that's just a straight-up fade of the Pittsburgh Pirates at this point right now. Kranick's on the mound last 30 days. 6.17 xFIP. And here's my favorite part of when they ask, the Pirates are a dead organization right now. So they're asking the manager last week, well, what are you going to do with Russ Kranick? I guess he's going to get another start. That is fantastic. That is all you need to see, where they have nowhere to go but just to keep this kid in Major League Baseball. If you look at his last 3 starts, 11 innings combined, 13 runs given up. So you say, okay, maybe you can get to that 5-run mark by the 5th inning. But even if you don't, you're looking at one of the worst baseball bullpens out there in the Pittsburgh Pirates. The only thing they had was Rich Rod at the end of that bullpen, and he's no longer there. I might only get 8 at-bats tonight in the lineup tonight for the Milwaukee Brewers. Did you see what the Brewers did to the Pirates last couple games out in Pittsburgh? Now the roles reverse here as they come back to Milwaukee. Stunted them last night for 6 runs. I think they're going to be able to hit their 4.5 at -140, which is tonight at BetMGM. But going all the way up and down the list, Adames versus right-handed pitchers the last 30 days, 313 ISO, Narvaez 180, Escobar 232, Garcia 196, Tellez 359, Taylor 263. You got some good power bats. But even if it's not a super powerful lineup technically on paper, bad pitcher, bad bullpen. We're getting 5 tonight, and I'm cashing this best bet and banker here on the Milwaukee Brewers. What are you looking at, Jason, tonight?
Yeah, so I'm with you on the Yankees there. The Yankees are going to take the over 3 in the first 5 on the team total. So, again, it's a 3, not a 3.5. It's 3. I got that on WinBet, and also it's at PointsBet. I would not really recommend going with that 3.5, because if you get that 3, then you get the push. And, of course, we still need 4 to win, but you at least save yourself with that 3. It's a high number. It's a juicy number. Playing a little bit risky here, but like Donnie already said, the Yankees should be able to score plenty of runs in this game. Wells, 5.26 xFIP in his last 30 days, walking 10.2%, ground balls just at 30.3%, hard contact, near 55% against righties, 433 weighted OBA, ISO 345 in his last 33 plate appearances against righties. While the Yankees are going to have 6 righties in the lineup, then you have 3 lefties. That's Rizzo, that's Gallo, and that's Odor. 3 guys that have plenty of potential when it comes to power. This team is also walking 17.1% of the time against lefties. They're striking out just 22% of the time. Weighted OBA 429 and an ISO of 237. I mean, all of these guys, they match up well against lefties in the last 30 days. You might not get Sanchez. We might get Higoshiaka instead, which is fine, because Sanchez is actually the one guy that has struggled against left-handed pitching with a 299 weighted OBA in his last 30 days, and he's also striking out 32.1% of the time. So if Sanchez is out and Higoshiaka is in, don't even sweat it. Not a big deal whatsoever. The rest of the guys, they should do plenty of damage against Wells. So we're going with that first 5, 3, the team total, not 3.5. It's a 3. That's what I'm taking. So it's a push. If we get 3, of course you get 4, you get the win. So keep that in mind if you're going to tail this wager.
Swinging away in the Bronx. Look, they got the cat running around the field yesterday. That means big-time bats tonight for the Bronx Bombers. Kyle, best bets and bankers, where are we going tonight?
Well, it's going to be a fade of John Lester for me. And look, the Braves had horrible news earlier. That lineup looked terrible after Acuna went out, and they went and had fun in the little fantasy draft that MLB called the trade deadline and got some power righties. Of course, Hernandez and Soler and Duvall. I like the Braves team total tonight, over 4.5 -115. We've got right now, their projected lineup, 7 righties, the only lefty in the lineup, Freddie Freeman, 7 of 28 lifetime with 2 home runs off of Lester. The lineup should be able to hit tonight. Advantages of 24, 27, 7, 23, 38, and 18%. The home run prop for Adam Duvall makes a lot of sense for me, too. He has a couple of home runs in 36 plate appearances, 10 for 36 lifetime. Like the Braves team total, over 4.5 -115, play of the day.
There you go. Play of the day. And yes, the odds lightning round coming up now as we go around Major League Baseball. See if we can pick off some of these games here that make a lot of sense. Let's start in Washington where the Phillies had a lead. Then all of a sudden the bullpen said you don't have a lead. But since the Nationals stink and they are called the Washington Juan Sotos because that's the only player they have in the lineup, today Corbin's going to be on the mound. I do agree. We should get some runs, at least from a Phillies perspective. 8s across the board. Wheeler's been sensational. I guess if you just walk, I don't know, Juan Soto 4 times in this game, I don't even see how they get on base, the Washington Juan Sotos. 7.5, 8s, 176, 170. Do I want to pay that much for the Philadelphia Phillies? Probably not, because they have a propensity to play down to competition. Almost lost last night if it wasn't for a trash 9th inning by the Nationals. But they closed the gap on the Mets. Wins are wins here. Jason, looking at you for this one. Corbin has struggled all year long. Phillies stacking right-handed bats. I don't see much pushback from the Nationals overall. But then again, FanDuel Sportsbook 176, Pinnacle 169. I don't know if I'm laying that wood on the Phillies to pick up a victory. I just don't trust them. Do I think they win? Yes, but not enough to bet on.
Yeah, look, Corbin, there's times where he'll struggle with command, struggle with control, and he'll walk plenty of batters. Against righties, that's what he's done. 8.9% of walks in his last 79 plate appearances. A lot of righties, like you said, in the lineup. You'll probably get 6 righties, and you'll have maybe 2 lefties and Harper and Herrera in the lineup. I mean, these guys, they're patient. They walk, and they don't really strike out too often. So the ball should be in play. There should be a lot of guys on base. The thing is, they just have to score some clutch hits and score some big runs early in this game against Corbin. And, the ball's going to be in play, so as long as they don't hit ground balls, and they're just hitting 41.7% of ground balls against lefties in the last 30 days, as long as they don't hit ground balls and get double plays, I think there's real potential for the Phillies to score some runs in this game. So the Phillies in the first 5 of the team total, the Phillies minus 0.5 in the first 5. And, of course, I do like them to win the full game. That's why I'm taking that odds boost on William Hill. It's just $25, but at plus 100, there's a lot of value there. So I'm on the Phillies here. I like them a lot here.
And I do like the fact that Jason tipped me off to that odds boost yesterday on the Yankees. Thank you, Jason, for that tax deduction deposit I made yesterday. But again, yeah, it's only $25, so I didn't lose any sleep. Yeah. Next up on the docket, Baltimore and the New York Yankees. Wells versus Gill. Not Johnny Gill, Luis Gill on the mound here for us tonight, Kyle. And get a look at this, because it was supposed to be Garrett Cole, but he gets COVID. So who knows how many starts Garrett Cole is going to miss at the absolute worst time if the Yankees think they're going to make any hay here in the AL East race. But they were supposed to be a 355 favorite with him on the mound. Now you just get randos on the mound, and you're still sitting at 225. Is the Baltimore Orioles one of those sneaky dogs here? We can only do that versus left-handed pitching, because I do think the Yankees hit tonight. But again, you're not looking at, hey, Garrett Cole's not on the mound tonight for the Yanks.
Well, at first I thought it was Nestor Cortez pitching tonight. I even did a whole damn prop play on him getting under 5.5 strikeouts. So it's still showing Cortez. So did they pull Nestor Cortez? Is that what's happened here? Because that was going to be another lefty against Baltimore and make me like Baltimore.
Johnny Gill. Yeah, by the way, I'm going to go back on Twitter to see where Sports SBR put that out and be like, what an idiot. What's he talking about?
Yeah, I mean, you got to do them so early in the damn morning, What do you want from me? I mean, it's still listed, in my defense, still listed as Nestor Cortez on ESPN's schedule right now. And in fairness. Now, well, actually, let me reload that page so I don't look like a lie. And it still says Nestor Cortez on ESPN, yeah. Baltimore, New York, 4:05 p.m. So if it was Nestor Cortez, I would say the under 5.5 strikeouts at minus 156. He's only hit 6 strikeouts once, but I can't say any of that. Look, the Yankees should hit, and I agree with you guys. I know you both like the Yankees a lot today. I just like the Yankees so many times when they've looked absolutely phenomenal, and they just shit the bed. So for me, it's a dog or pass. I need to see it to believe it first from the Yankees before I can back them in any way, shape, or form. If it does end up being Nestor Cortez, again, he's off my database now for DFS, so I'm assuming they know something here, and he's gone, and you guys say Gill, so that's a bummer. I wonder if that bet still holds up if you got it in early. Like, if he doesn't pitch, you can't get 5.5 strikeouts, for Christ's sake. Anyways, no, that would be nice. But
what if he comes in as a relief pitcher? He comes in for like 1 inning.
Yeah, he might. He might be the opener. Gill might be the opener for Cortez. That would be
absolutely phenomenal. So we'll have to see if that bet is still live. My apologies for those. I mean, that's just the information I had at 6:30 in the morning this morning. But look, Baltimore's a live dog as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, their pitcher stinks. The Yankees lineup looks like they should absolutely smash. I agree with Donnie. Home run props across the board for the Yankees. I tried that last night. Asked me how that went. It did not go very well. Stanton, Judge, Sanchez, Torres, Rizzo, all these guys absolutely have an opportunity to hit. Rizzo actually hits lefties a little bit better than he hits righties, so that's another nice little thing for Rizzo there against Wells tonight. I do agree with the Yankees team total. I agree there should be runs in this game. I just can't back the Yankees just yet, so it'll be dog or pass for me.
Yeah, the Judge and Rizzo for me, if you have a home run chance, last 30 days, 267 ISO power number for Judge. How about Rizzo? 433. Somebody's leaving the yard tonight against this guy Wells. So I do think they are going to get some runs and some home runs to leave the ball yard. Keep moving down the list. Cleveland and Toronto. Yesterday, Toronto, sleepwalking there. Looked like Vladdy Jr. is going to bail him out, tie the game up at 2, and they draw dead in extra innings. Now a heavy favorite once again, minus 200s across the board, 8.5 as a total. Ryu versus Plesac. Is this one where we just lean on Toronto again in this place, or is Cleveland just a live dog, even though basically they've Jason?
Yeah, look, Plesac has not been great since returning. 5.39 xFIP, striking out just 15.1% of batters. Hard contact sitting at 46.6% in the last 30 days. So both righties and lefties, they've had plenty of power against him. .200 ISO or better. Weighted OBA 335 or better on both sides of the plate. Strikeouts are really low. Walks are low too, but you don't really need to worry about walks when you have Springer, Guerrero Jr., Simeon, Bichette, Hernandez all in the lineup. So yeah, I like the Blue Jays in this game. I think Ryu's been a lot better recently. Did have his little poor stretch, but now 3.97 xFIP in his last 30 days, striking out 22.2%, walks just at 4.4%, and ground balls nearing 50%. The Indians lineup, they obviously lost Hernandez. They do have Straw in their lineup, but he hasn't been much of a threat offensively most of the season. So, yeah, there's guys in the lineup that can do damage for the Indians, but not nearly as many guys as the Blue Jays have in their lineup.
All right, New York Mets and the Miami Marlins. We'll skip over this game because, as Kyle likes to say, Miami doesn't really care who the starting pitcher is. Miami doesn't care that they have a baseball team altogether. We'll see if the Mets can take advantage. But again, Taijuan Walker not having the righty, and you do have a lowering of odds here. Pinnacle opened up at 170. We now sit at 155. FanDuel 180. We now sit at 164. 8.5s now have turned into 8s across the board. Seattle plugged the Rays yesterday. We bouncing back tonight with Tampa Bay. What are your thoughts here on this game, Kyle?
Well, I mean, this normally would just be a fade of Patino, right? Then he comes out and absolutely dominates in his last performance. And Kikuchi's been fairly mediocre. I mean, he's had a couple good starts in his last 5. It's a wide range of outcomes, right? Three of those 5 games under 20 fantasy points. The other 2, 49 and more. So, and one of those was a 46 or more, 46 against this very Rays team. In terms of weighted OPS over 3 years, Kikuchi does profile a little bit better, obviously, than Patino does. I think the Mariners are a live dog here. You're getting them plus 25 on the money line in the first 5 innings. That makes a lot of sense to me. I'm not sure I want to dive into that Rays bullpen, although the Mariners bullpen has been pretty solid. For me, this is another underdog spot where, are the Rays a better team? Absolutely. Can Cruz and the boys get going and hit off Kikuchi? Absolutely. But the Mariners have been underestimated all year long. It's another plus money spot where the pitching matchup actually favors the Mariners by just a nudge here. I think the Mariners live dogs here. I'll take them plus 125 on the money line in the first 5 innings.
All right, Minnesota, Cincinnati, Maeda, Molly on the mound tonight. And I agree with the price drop here, Jason. 136, they open up at Pinnacle Offshore. That's turned into a 122. 156 here in New Jersey as an opener, down to 124 as a favorite for the Cincinnati Reds. 9s across the board. When I look at least in the last 30 days, Maeda's been a very good pitcher. Molly leaking oil a little bit, specifically against right-handed batters. 57 of them he's faced, and a weighted on-base average of 440 and an ISO power number of 327. I do think Minnesota's a live dog in this game, Jason. Your thoughts between the Reds and the Minnesota Twins?
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, Molly has not been good. 5.59 xFIP, walking 12.2% of batters. This is a moment where it's like I like to talk about. Like, I'm not putting a single unit on any team that's not going for the playoffs anymore. Yeah. So like the Twins, they profile extremely well against Molly and the Reds here with their lineup 258 ISO, weighted OBA 366, but you're not going to find me putting much money on teams that are not really fighting for the playoffs anymore. They just got rid of Cruz. They tried to get rid of Donaldson. So like this is a team where they profile really well. Like, don't get mistaken. Like, they look really good. And from like the beginning of the season, they probably would have been a top play candidate. But I'm not putting money on really bad teams anymore, especially now being in August and September. I'm only putting money on teams that are going for the playoff spot. So again, the Twins, they profile extremely well. Looks really nice here. Molly's been terrible against righties. They're going to have plenty of righties in the lineup that can do damage, like Garver, like Sano. Also, you have Rooker, who's been really, really good. So it's a great lineup. But again, I'm not going to be putting money on teams that are not, fighting for a playoff position.
Can I jump in here just real quick on the Twins? Just because sometimes in the chat box, and I'm not trying. I love King Dre, it's good, but I don't like misinformation to sway people in the chat box. Someone says the Twins been playing a lot better lately. The Minnesota Twins are the only team in baseball in the last 10 games not to win more than 3 games. They're the worst team in baseball over the last 10 games. So no, they are not playing much better. You can't trust the goddamn Twins. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. Talking about can't trust in teams, Angels and the Rangers coming up. Suarez and Lyles, sure to be great baseball down in the state of Texas. Minus 110s. It's actually now has flipped over. It's minus 130 or so as a favorite towards the Angels. Paging, I don't know, Anthony Rendon, Mike Trout. Look, when you guys come back, we'll cap your games here. Kyle, quick thoughts on this one.
I don't know. I guess the underdog? No. This game, I want nothing to do with this game. I want nothing to do with a single player in this game. These two teams are absolutely dreadful. They're dreadful to watch. It's embarrassing they're even still in the league this year. You may as well get rid of all their players and give them away to the winners. This is a complete stay-away game for me. Both pitchers stink. Both lineups stink. I don't know what the hell you're supposed to do with a game like that other than forget that it's ever happening. Stay the hell away from this game. We'll make it quick.
All right, skipping over this next game, Pittsburgh and Milwaukee. You guys know our thoughts and feelings on that one. Also, Kansas City and the Chicago White Sox. Bubic, the lefty, versus Cease, the righty, on the mound. Big line movement here in favor of the Chicago White Sox. Opened up offshore at 185. That now sits at 235 here in New Jersey. Minus 200 to FanDuel, up to minus 255 with 9s across the board. Chicago White Sox, one of my favorite teams in Major League Baseball. Big power arms in the rotation, big power arms in the back end, and a fun and athletic and certainly power-hitting lineup here. But that's a heavy price to pay with 9s. Do I think the Chicago White Sox can hit their team total? Sure, I do. What are you thinking here in this game at Kansas City and the Chicago White Sox here, Jason?
Yeah, I'm with Kyle. The White Sox are the play here. They added Cesar Hernandez, and he's going to be a switch hitter at the top of the order, something that they really kind of needed outside of Moncada. They didn't have another switch hitter. So now you're going up against lefties and going up against righties. Now you have a bunch of guys in the lineup that can do much damage. They got Garcia as another switch hitter. So they're really flexible now. They can do a lot against lefties and a lot against righties. So this is a great spot. Anderson, Hernandez, Abreu, Moncada, Engel, Garcia, they're all hitting really, really well days. And Bubic, 4.93 xFIP, walking, 9.7% of batters. Really been bad against lefties, 473 weighted OBA. And then against righties, his strikeouts are really low and his walks are high, just like it is against lefties. So, there's a lot of room for the White Sox to score runs here. And I agree with the first 5 and the team totals if you want to go with that direction.
All right, we're already fired away on Lester and Fried. We're going to keep moving down there. Chicago White Sox and the Colorado Rockies, we would do that game, but it looks like some rain is going to be in the forecast, 11.5. So let's focus here on San Francisco with an offensive explosion yesterday going up against Arizona. Bumgarner, the lefty on the mound against a team that he knows quite well. Johnny Cueto, just that veteran getting by in Major League Baseball, decent outings here. They're a heavy favorite here, minus 184 in New Jersey, minus 178 offshore at Pinnacle, 9.5, even some 10s showing up as a total. So is this one of those games where San Francisco exacts some more revenge against Bumgarner? Or is this one where Bumgarner can stand up there and say, hey, I know how these guys can hit. I don't trust Bumgarner as long as I can throw him in this game. So, Kyle, quick thoughts here between San Francisco and the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, and he might have said that last time, and they smashed him, and he got 12 fantasy points in his 0.5 first 5.
All right, Giants minus 5 for Kyle. They're also taking a look at a couple other games here that we've already circled and played through. So we are at the end of our card today. And as always, what we like to do is get after it and circle the bases. Actually, circle the bases, right? Yeah, we need some circling the bases tonight to get some runs. And we're going to clear the bases here before we get out of here, let you guys know exactly what we were digging on today. Value menu wager for myself, the New York Yankees team total full game at 5.5 at minus 120. Best bet, my play of the day, the Brewers, 4.5 minus 140. I think that's going to be able to get done. Give me 5 and 5. I don't want to stress that one out. And also my odds boost of the night, Anthony Rizzo of the New York Yankees to get 1 RBI or more at plus 160. Jason, take it away. What you got?
Yeah, so the odds boost will be the Phillies plus 100 on William Hill, just $25. But we're going to try to get our money back from the Yankees yesterday. And then we're also going to go with the Yankees as an official play. Yankees over 3 in the first 5 on the team total at -125. Again, it is a 3 number, not a 3.5. If it hits 3, we're pushing. I got it through WinBet, and PointsBet also has the 3. So if you don't have that 3, go with your gut. But we still need 4 runs, of course. So I still like the 3.5, but I would prefer you get that 3 in case they fall 1 run short, which the Yankees are obviously capable of doing, although I don't think that will happen today. And of course, the value play will be the Brewers over 2.5 in the first 5, the team total at -125. And you can get that on DraftKings or anywhere else that had first 5 team totals.
Kyle, take it away. What do you have? Value Manager, odds boost, best bet and bankers. Hit them up.
Okay, I'm going through my brain trying to remember. So let's start with the odds boost. Of course, my very big odds boost from 257 to 270. White Sox, Brewers, Braves, moneyline parlays. I know it's scary and it's chicken shit, but that's the odds boost today. I just got it at a few points. Go ahead, put it in. I'm telling you, it calculates stuff. Go to BetMGM. That's where they have it. Value menu. Got the White Sox -0.5 in the first 5, -145. Red Sox alternate team total at BetMGM over 4.5, -155. Of course, our play of the day is going to be the Braves team total over 4.5, -115. A complete fade of Lester. I expect those new power righties for the Braves to get it going. For those of you who like the home run props, here's the list. Today, I got Adam Duvall for those Braves. Javi Baez, I think, gets it done as well. Nelson Cruz, JD Martinez, and Riz Hoskins for Donnie's Phillies.
There you go. Wrapping it up here on a Tuesday. See if we can get after it and win some money tonight. We'll certainly know quite shortly here. Big Major League Baseball card, which will be back tomorrow once again on a Wednesday doing exactly the same thing. I'm Donnie Seymour for Jason Radowitz along with Kyle Purviance. We are the Sportsbook Review.com Major League Baseball team. Good luck on those wagers.